Okay, Kylie, this is about depression. Um, we're a couple of days behind, but uh, the next chapter is on mood disorders, not just depression. When I was in school, it's called affective disorders or feeling disorders. They decided that's not a good name for it, so they changed it to mood disorders. It's a major deviation in mood, either inappropriate, unusual moods. It's very common. Uh, um, The experience of depression and mania contribute, but to mood disorder, either done or in combination to all mood disorders. You either have depression or you have mania or you have both. One of the big changes in DSM-4 TR to DSM-5 was they had all kinds of depressions, and they kind of uh, cut those down and put them in a smaller group than before. Um, there are three types of depression. Normal depression, it's called normal depression because it's normal. Everybody gets depressed for some period of time. And that's usually tied to an event in the environment. You break up with somebody, um, you know, do you have a bad test, fight with your significant other, so forth and so on. And grief is under normal depression. But grief has gone from 6 months to 1 year because some people, when something happens terribly bad, like lose a loss of a loved one, it takes them, oh God, sometimes 2 or 3 months for them to even accept the fact that the person's gone. Then they go into grief. So we kind of moved that to 1 year. Depression of mood, common in college students. That's where it was discovered. It's called the blues sometimes. Um, uh, Dysmorphic disorder, um, and it's milder than depression. It's just kind of a blasé feeling. It only lasts a couple of days. Here is where you get the freshman 15, because when you're in depression of mood, you eat comfort foods, and then you have major depression, which is life threatening. There are 6 symptoms that I want you to know on depression. One is desire to be alone. People who are depressed want to be alone. And what you should do is check on them, but let them be alone. Taking them places doesn't make them happier and kind of ruins what you do. So you go to a party and take a person depressed, they're still depressed, and then you can't enjoy the party. So check on them, make sure they're okay, and let them alone. Two, lack of appetite. Now, if you remember, normal depression and major depression have lack of appetite. Depression of mood has just the opposite. You tend to eat. Trouble sleeping is the best way. I mean, the most common way of telling if somebody's depressed. That's why they're tired all the time, because they're not getting any delta waves. They're not getting good sleep. Um, Therefore, you have a decrease in general activity. I mean, people with major depression don't do anything. They don't take a shower. They don't brush their teeth. They don't do any of that kind of stuff. Um, Pessimistic, people that are depressed, they don't have a half glass half empty or glass half full. They have no glass. And they talk bad about themselves. And then last, loss of concentration. And this is more common in major depression. Now, the only difference between major depression, depression of mood, and normal depression is in the intensity, how strong those 6 characteristics are. That's why we don't have, childhood or adolescent depression, even though there isn't, especially now with COVID, is because they're the same symptoms. It depends on the intensity. Okay.